Hello everybody and welcome to Alumni Stadium for week 9 of the 2017 college football season. Welcome to Boston College, where your Deacons will take on the Boston College Eagles. Some quick notes before we begin today's ball game. Top 3 players for Wake Forest: Dustin Thomas, 1,197 yards coming in, 59 carries for 406 yards, and 14 total touchdowns. Desmond Wortham, the All-American last year, halfback, 623 yards, 9 touchdowns on the ground this year. So far 30 receptions, 203 yards through the air, and 1 touchdown. And then Tyree Harris at the wideout spot, 17 receptions, 303 yards for a total of 3 touchdowns. For BC, Kavalek, the left end, 14 tackles, 18 assisted, 3 for a loss. Justin Edwards, the quarterback, comes in with 1,068 yards, 67 carries, 381 yards, 12 total touchdowns. And Lowry, the backup quarterback, comes in with 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 31 yards on the ground while Edwards was out. But it's enough about stats. It's enough about talking. Let's get to the game. Wake Forest would lose the tip, and they would receive Boston College elects to defer. So we are underway. Tyree Harris brings out to the 22. And how about Desmond Wortham, the All-American senior? Last game, 28 carries, $139, 1 touchdown against Virginia at Virginia. Let's see if he can do the same magic today here. First play for the Deacons goes to Wortham on a slip screen. Last season, Wortham had 6 yards per catch, 440 yards and 1 touchdown. Second and 14 after a couple plays. This one is back to Desmond Wortham, and let's now bring up his season rushing stats. As we said, 623 yards, 9 touchdowns, but only on 147 rushes. However, Boston College would get keen on Wortham early, and they would stop him, and that would bring up a 4th down. Last season, Wortham 5 yards per carry, 1,500 plus yards, and 18 touchdowns. He is on pace to do just about the same this year. Let's get to Boston College now. Their first possession, Justin Edwards. Well, he's going to put the ball on the turf. Luckily, though, the sea of maroon jerseys was there to back him up, and BC avoids a first play turnover. However, not a good start, loss of 2. Now, 31 after an 11-yard pickup by Brandon Rogers at halfback. We're going back to Brandon Rogers, and that is a 3-yard rush. So, first down of BC and of the game. 3rd and 11, Justin Edwards wasn't done there. That is Corey Walker, and he's going to walk his team down to a 1st down, but he wasn't done there. On 3rd and 7, a little out route to Corey Walker gets a foot in bounds. The booth would reveal, the call would stand, and BC has a 1st and 10. On 2nd and 4, it's Justin Edwards all alone in the backfield. And this one, well, it's going to be caught by Joe Jones. Kind of ironic, kind of a plain name, but you know what? It works for him. And it also works for BC. But another team it works for is Wake Forest, because on 3rd and goal from the 3, Abraham Whitworth is going to only get 2, so BC comes away with a field goal. Ensuing kickoff, 2:40 to go in the first quarter. Wayne Haynes back to return from his own goal line, makes a man miss. He's got room to the outside, pass midfield, and he will be taken down to the BC 46. So far for the Eagle defense, 15 yards, 5 average per play. 1st and 10, it'll be a read option. We saw a lot of this last week against Virginia. Dustin Thomas, 3 yards to begin his rushing day today, and only a sign of things to come. 3rd and 6, though, a little pressure. It's going to be a rollout to the right. Dustin Thomas looking, hit as he throws, fires it into a mix of white and maroon jerseys, and it's Anthony Johnson coming down with the catch. You'll get a replay here. Johnson initially open, Thomas never saw him, and then Johnson had to go upfield on a vertical route. By the time Thomas saw him, it was just in time, because that leads to this. Desmond Wortham in the end zone as if it was scripted. You're not going to stop him at the goal line, folks. Should have learned that week 1. A studio update, Florida State, Clemson, the Noles, and the Tigers. Well, this one's important because in Death Valley, Clemson is in the ACC race and Florida State's leading the ACC race. However, FSU is ahead of Wake Forest by half a game. So that means if FSU loses to Clemson today, Wake Forest beats BC, we're going to have ourselves a new divisional leader in the Atlantic in the form of Wake Forest. So hopefully we can do that. We'll keep an eye on that game and, of course, this game as well. Now for midfield, 2nd and 10, Edwards. This play is read perfectly. You can't get any more perfect. But Brandon Rogers makes 3 Demon Deacons miss. And down 7-6, down 1, but driving. Wake Forest is going to have to try and put on the goal line brakes because it's probably going to be inevitable that BC is going to reach the goal line. Just a question of when. Well, Brandon Rogers wants to make it now. That is a 13-yard rush up the middle of the dashes, untouched. However, on 1st and goal, that goal line defense, well, it got shut down because Team Edwards is better than Team Jacob in the Twilight series. And he's better than Wake Forest defense right here. 13-7, BC on top of Wake by 6. However, we have a guy named Desmond Wortham, and he is not messing around. 16 yards there on a little handoff to the right side. And from one first down to another, it would lead to a 2nd and 13. Minute 40 to go before halftime. Low scoring affair for either team. Desmond Wortham slip screen, bowls over a BC defender, and he has 18 yards and another first down. So far, 4 screens to Wortham today, and it has been going lovely. All of them positive yards. We're racking up the chemistry. Everything's going perfect. 1st and 10, 1:11 and counted play in the first half. Thomas looking. He will go middle of the field. He will take off, and he will slide. That is good for a first down. And then with 30 seconds to go in the half, and the play clock at 1, Thomas, 5-step drop, finds Anthony Johnson. Again, 15 yards. That is his 2nd reception. He's already above 50 yards because of the big 3rd down conversion from earlier. And then Wake Forest is going to finish it off. CC, Curtis Crosby, all-you-can-eat buffet. You just got to get into the end zone. Tie game, and Wake Forest would take the lead 14-13. And right now in Clemson and FSU in Death Valley, Clemson helping Wake Forest 24-14 over FSU. Oh, by the way, this could have huge implications on the BCS game coming up in about 6 or 7 weeks. But at halftime from Alumni Stadium with Wake Forest and Boston College, the Demon Deacons, winners of 3 straight entering today, are up 1 at halftime. Second half action halfway through the 3rd quarter, just about 5:15 to go. Desmond Wortham says, I want to make an impact, and I want it now. Desmond Wortham, the All-American, going all the way, and that is a touchdown. Demon Deacons will take an even bigger lead. Untouched and unmatched. That is the specialty of Desmond Wortham. 21-13, 8-point game for BC. They are down, but they are certainly not out. It's going to start right here with a toss to Miles Willis. That picks up a nice chunk of yardage. And then Team Edwards back at it again. Just stiff-arming the competition like the Heisman Doug Flutie. And that picks up a first down. And then on 1st and 10, 3 plays later, it's Willis again. What are you talking about, Willis? Well, he's talking about a touchdown. Miles Willis for BC puts the Eagles within 2. However, that wasn't enough for Boston College. Oh no, they would go for 2. So, on the 2-point conversion, Edwards design scramble to the left, way overthrown. And guess what? Wake Forest survives a 2-point conversion. So up 2, we go to another studio update. Clemson now up 24-17. So, like we said, Wake Forest wins, Florida State loses. Wake Forest is your new ACC Atlantic Division leader for the first time since beginning this franchise in 2013. 8 minutes to go left in the 4th. This drive pans out with a field goal by King. Alexander King puts it through the uprights. We have another studio update. There's a lot of them because this is a big game for Wake Forest. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Clemson, well, they are struggling now. Up now only by 4 to FSU. it is getting tight-knit in Death Valley. It's also getting tight in Boston College. Edwards, big third down conversion to Joe Jones. Not Julio Jones, but he wasn't even guarded. 56-yard pass. That puts Edwards above 200 yards on the game. And then on 2nd and 2, this is where things get a little worse for wear if you're Wake Forest fans. If you are a Wake Forest fan, you might want to close your eyes, because that 1st and goal run sets up this 3rd and goal option, and Edwards gets it off to Brandon Rogers. Touchdown Eagles. Flew down the field in a hurry, and they are up by 1. However, again, they would not satisfy for an extra point. Go for 2. They get it. 3-point game. Wake Forest 3 and out. Team Edwards. Justin Edwards. Team Edwards. Whatever you want to call him. He's got adrenaline in his body, and he ain't going to stop. Touchdown BC. And when it was perfect all game for the Demon Deacons, oh, how it has crumbled. How it has crumbled in a hurry. 31-20 Clemson. It looks like they're going to take that victory, but a lot of time left in Death Valley. Let's go back to our game. Wake Forest, what happened? You're up big. Now you're down 10. Well, it's time to cue the heroic theme song, because Dustin Thomas and Desmond Wortham would take this team by the horns. And you know the saying, mess with the bull, you get the horns. Well, you mess with the Demon Deacons, you get this kind of offense. 3rd and 23 when you need it most. Dustin Thomas will take any hit for you, and he finds the most underrated wide receiver on the roster. Kyle Chandler for a big touchdown. Defense holds strong. 4th and 14, 50 seconds left and counting to get a field goal. Wayne Haynes made sure they would get in great territory. Makes 3 maroon jerseys miss, and with 42 seconds left, no timeouts, they would try and do the unthinkable, really. Come back down from 10 with under 2 minutes to go. 30 seconds, it's a 1st down. 30 seconds now and counting. 25 seconds now. Thomas looking all day, finds Curtis Crosby. They hurry to the line, and that sets up a 15-second 3rd and goal. Scary moment here, though. Little tunnel vision. Dustin Thomas looking for Crosby, almost intercepted. Luckily it wasn't, because that could have ended the game right there. However, you give him a second chance, and Alexander King is going to make it golden. We're headed to overtime. So in overtime, down 10-0 in the final 2 minutes of the game, Wake Forest comes back. They get the ball back, and they get the ball to start OT. Matt Burns, he had a good game last week. He gets an even better game this week. The game-winning touchdown, because with that touchdown, with Clemson winning by 5 in Death Valley, Wake Forest would be your new ACC Atlantic Division leaders as of right now, because the video actually cuts out accidentally. A little editing problem, so you're going to see highlights from the final BC drive, but on 4th and 2, they had to go for it. Justin Edwards throws a pick. So guys, Wake Forest improves to a 4 straight win streak, and they improved to 5 and 2 on the year. It should be a fun last part of the season with ACC play. Come back next week when Wake Forest looks to go even deeper into the season. We will see you later from Alumni Stadium. Your final in this one, 41-34 Wake.